G'day, Justin Hock from Right Source. Happy to join you guys again, especially in the bright outdoors. Today I wanted to talk about social media and marketing, and specifically in relation to business. How do you work out how much you should spend or whether you should do it in the first place? So this is a question I get a lot in terms of the clients where they're spending a certain amount on marketing and they're like, well, is this how much we should spend? Like, how much should we invest in marketing and social media and sort of brand awareness, all that type of stuff? Now, I suppose the thing that's important here is, this is very much there's not a one size fits all to social media and marketing. It really depends on what your purpose is and what you're trying to drive. And I suppose that's the first thing I look at with anyone when they ask that type of question is, well, not what or how much you should spend, but the first question you need to know is, what are you trying to get at? What's the goal? Why are you doing it? You need to understand that what is the purpose you're trying to achieve in your marketing social media. Now, obviously it's not well, everyone else is doing it, because that's not a goal, that's just following the crowd. So it's really sitting down, and this is what you need to do, is you need to sit down and go, well, am I advertising my business or doing marketing to get sales? Am I doing it to just create awareness? Is it to create leads, which is slightly different to sales? Is it just to educate people? I mean, what is the purpose behind that process? And these things have a different time period as well. So if you're looking for, like, you're doing an end of financial year sale, your time period for that promotion is really short. Usually like 2 or 3 weeks, and that's it. If it's more about brand awareness, well, that's a long play. That length of time that you're looking to do this campaign or achieve the goals that you want is important, or as important as the goal, because you want to understand the life of that campaign, how much you're going to spend over the whole period of time. Working out how much I'm spending a month doesn't necessarily equate to anything, because it doesn't equate to the goal. If you're doing a brand awareness and you want to build your brand, well, that's a 12-month or more process. So you should set a concept or how much you're going to spend on that period of time, not how much I'm spending each month. And similarly, if it's a short period, well, then it's a short amount of money you're spending, but you're spending it all very quickly. So they're the first two things that it's always important to get a clear understanding of before you start even thinking about how much you're going to spend. So once you've got those two things, then it's about, okay, well, if I do a brand awareness campaign and I do it for 12 months, how much value am I creating? Now, this is where it gets a little tricky, but you do need to have a concept. Like, if at the end of this activity that you do at 12 months time, you have a brand that's recognizable and people can go, oh yeah, I know what that is, and they do. You need to have a concept of how much that is worth to you. So in doing the activity, if it's successful at the end, how much is that worth? That then sets the ceiling on how much you should spend, because you don't want to spend more on something than what it's worth, because then you're throwing money away. Similarly, if you've got a sales campaign you're going to run, end of financial year, for example, sales campaign, and you're thinking it might increase sales by 10%, this is a little bit easier to quantify the value. Well, revenue's up by 10%. It helps give you, and then the profit on those sales then helps gives you an indication, well, it's going to make this much difference to my business by doing something successfully. So therefore, I shouldn't spend any more than that. Otherwise, what am I doing? I'm wasting money. So that is, I suppose, the first process I would go through with someone in terms of how much should we spend on any type of campaign or marketing or social media. The next thing then is, because we don't have endless supply of money, how much can you afford? So you know what you want to do and the value it's going to create, but you quite often will have more than one option. So you can't do everything. So it's working out, well then, okay, from a business point of view, irrespective of how much, what you want to do, how much capacity do you have to spend on marketing? Now this can be, if you're a larger, more established business, you'll probably have a bigger pot. If you're a startup, that's where it's really hard, because you do normally only have the ability to do one thing, or maybe even part of one thing. So that's where it's very important, the first step in terms of understanding the value that you're getting from those campaigns and being clear on what you're trying to achieve, because that then allows you to prioritize which ones are best. So for example, when going through startup processes and working with those, like there's always a question on what social media platform you should use and how you do it. Do you do Facebook? Do you do LinkedIn? Do you do ads? Do you do TikTok? What do you do? And then how do you create those ads? So there's do you get someone professionally to do it, or do you do it yourself? And this gives you an indication of, one, how successful they'll be, because if you pay for ads, you tend to get more reach, but it costs you more. If you get your media production done for you, it'll look more polished, again, it costs you more. So there's this balance of how much value you're going to be able to get and how much you can afford. By having a think about the value and what you're trying to achieve and what you think is most likely the process that's going to get you the results, will then allow you to go, well, I've got 3 different campaigns I want to do. I understand the value of each. This one's going to give me the biggest bang for my buck. That's one we'll do. Well, that's one we'll do first. And then if that goes well and we've got more cash, well, then we'll do the next one. So that's very important, to not just dive in and just do the first one you see, but look at the whole strategy. What is your whole marketing strategy, and what are the campaigns that fit into that, and prioritize. Then lastly, you've had a look at all of that. You've had a look at the different campaigns you do. You know what you can afford, and you execute. You go away and you launch something and you start it off. There's still a final step that happens even after that, and that is the monitoring process. So especially if it's a longer term campaign, you want to, as it's going along, revisit it and go, well, is this still going to achieve the value I was looking for it to achieve? Is it still remaining within the cost profile that I thought it was going to be? Has the time period that I need to invest in this changed? Because if any of those 3 things change, it gives you a different answer as to whether you should continue doing it. And when I say continue doing it, it's important to look at not what you've spent, because what you've spent is done. To keep going through a marketing campaign, because we've already spent $10,000 on this campaign, to give up now would be a waste of money. Well, that money's already gone. It's not actually part of the decision anymore. The decision now, when you're midway through a project, is to go, well, how much value can I achieve if I keep going, and how much is that going to cost me, and what time frame? Same decision as when you start. Now, if at any point during that process, you go, okay, it's now going to cost me more than the value I'm going to achieve, you should stop. That ability to look at a project as you're going through, whatever project it is, and understand at some point that it's not going to plan and it's now going to cost you more than the value you're going to get out of it. I mean, that's really about making a good fold and understanding that every decision you make in business is about trying to make sure that the value you get from spending or investing in something is more than what it costs you, because that's how you grow a business. That is how I approach marketing and advising people and helping people through how much they should spend on social media or marketing or advertising. It's really understanding your goals, making sure that you don't spend more than the value you're going to get, and continue to monitor it through that process. I hope you found that useful, and I hope that gives you a bit of direction in terms of your own challenges and fun in terms of working out how you market and brand your company. If you found this video useful, please feel free to subscribe. There's a lot of we've got over 50 videos now, so we're going well in terms of information that helps you in your business find your purpose and find the way to continue to deliver that purpose both now and into the future. Also, feel free to reach out, because part of what RightSource do is we help businesses move forward and achieve their purpose. So if there's something you think we might be able to help you with, please feel free to reach out, and happy to have a conversation and see if we might be assistance. But otherwise, do stay tuned. There's some good videos both that we've done and coming up. It's Justin Hogg from RightSource. Thanks.